So God hates fags. God hates blacks. God hates Republicans. That part is actually true. God hates Republicans. God hates Democrats. God hates Muslims. And God hates Jews. Basically, if you ain't Christian and white, well, God hates you too. Basically, for you, God's love can be purchased in installments, but don't consider it a payment. Consider it a monthly investment on your soul. I mean, somebody got to pay for all these streets paved with gold. Somebody got to pay for these fancy robes and adornments, these fancy clothes and ornaments, these stained glass windows and cathedral ceilings with the pretty paintings all over it. Yes, my friend, God is going to need all of that. I mean, ask yourself, do you really want your God wearing a suit off the rack? Do you really want him struggling to pay his bills or put gas in his tank? Don't you want him to be able to put his children in the finest private schools and push the finest chariots? Forget the fact that Jesus rode into Jerusalem on the back of an ass, because God 2.0, he gonna need an S-Class. And his churches are a circus, complete with plasmas and white smoke. Because what God hates most of all, y'all, is being broke. So when the Red Sea once parted, it's now a flea market. Don't get it twisted, saving souls is big business. Complete with overseas accounts. Complete with safe deposit boxes and secrets we can't let leak out. And you definitely gonna need one of God's special books so you can get it in the lobby, because you're gonna need more than just the Bible if you plan on worshiping properly. You need one of God's special DVDs. It comes with a free prayer called The Manna. It's only $19.99. You can afford that, can't you? Now, I haven't read my Bible in a while. Perhaps I'm a bit rusty on my lessons, but I vaguely remember a verse saying it is easier to pass a camel through the head of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. Yes. Now see Creflo Dollar, see T.D. Jakes, see your local megachurch pastor and how much money he makes. Hand over fist complete with tax breaks. See the parishioners suffering can't flourish, fuck them, let them eat cake. Tell them salvation ain't free, you gotta pay to see his face. They have made God a pimp, a Ponzi scheme. Cash rules everything around me. Me, man, not God. God created an infant universe for free. The same one that was here before we got here and will be here after we leave. Everything that we hear, everything that we see, paid for in full, no extra fees. The God the God I serve is rich beyond measure. Set up shop wherever you like. The rent is free forever. And when I was young, my uncle would pick me up in his green Cadillac. It had the sunroof top, diamonds in the back. Periodically, we would pull over. Beautiful women would walk from the corner, stick their head in the window, drop money in my lap. My uncle would pat me on my back and tell me to count that. We would repeat the procedure numerous times throughout the course of the night. At the end of the journey, if the count was right, he would buy me ice cream, give me $5, and some free advice. Never run for buses or for women. There will always be another one in 15 minutes. Say that shit again, man. Say it again. Say that shit again, man. Say it again. That shit was real. It was. He would buy me ice cream, give me $5, and some free advice. Never run for buses or for women. There will always be another one in 15 minutes. Now that's probably not the best advice to give a young man just starting out, because I've been late for work and for love more times than I've been. And truth be told, I ain't never been pressed to keep a woman in my bed, because in the back of my head always rings what my uncle said. Never run, never work, never give your heart, never get hurt. Never say I love you unless she says it first, and even then, pause for effect. Glance over to the left. Make her wonder if you're just saying it for the sake of repeating it. That way if the shit hits the fan, you can always say you didn't mean it. And don't trip if she talking about her ex-boyfriend, because she just giving you the blueprint on how to pretend you better than him. It's all a game, nephew. And if you listen to what I'm saying, ain't nobody ever gonna be able to play it better than you. Keep her at arm's length. Only give her enough attention to pique her interest. Make sure she plays her position. And if you stay true to this, you can treat her like shit. She'll be happy with whatever time she gets. You could be in the strip club, grinding up on some whore, text her 2 in the morning, I bet she cracked that door. Then you wax that floor. Give it a good buff and then bounce like it ain't nothing. Leave her lying in a pool of her own sweat and regrets. Then you on to the next. Now what he didn't tell me is what it would feel like to be 30 plus and be void of a good woman's touch. Didn't tell me how there was a difference between a good time and a good woman, and how sometimes men, they get the two things mixed up. Didn't tell me that a good woman only comes around once. And if you find her, you better run. Like Carl Lewis, better work the keeper or die inside when you realize there was another man underneath. Didn't tell me that at some point, that would be the last bus of the night. And at some point, that would be the greatest woman you would ever meet in your life. And she would be worthy of the sacrifice. She would be worthy of your secrets and whatever games you play with other women along the way. They just prevent you from meeting her. Didn't tell me how it would feel to die alone. These are all lessons I had to learn on my own. Thank God I learned them before she came along. How miserable would I have been had I not been prepared when she walked into my life. I promised her 2 things. 1, to love her. And 2, to give my nephews better advice. Amen.